you've seen that evolution through time and the rise of intelligence in its various forms go through this arc of rising in intelligence. And now you see that intelligence matters more than anything, okay? It matters more than money. It matters more than anything because intelligence will attract people, those with money, to invest in the development of that. And so we have seen this arc through history develop in that way, right? And we've seen people replaced. Now, the question is, as we get higher and higher in thinking, okay, whether we've run out of capacity to shift or whether we're just going to be totally replaced. Our muscles have been totally replaced. But okay, as this is happening, our best thinking may be totally replaced. And we're going to have to deal with that question.
Are you hopeful?
I'm excited. I think it all comes down to human nature. Okay, I'm excited in that fast forward, make the most of it, jump on it, woo, I'm excited. I've also watched the evolution of species. Almost all species have come and gone for certain reasons. And one of the reasons that they have come and gone is because almost their strengths are not in all respects great strengths. You can use these things, intelligence, to your detriment. And I believe that the things that these technologies and so on bring us, while very important, it extends life expectancy and all of that, is not as important as human nature. And so if you were to go back in time and we're in different societies, do you have happier societies? Is the well-being greater? Okay. So you can go 50 years ago and you might say the well-being is greater 50 years ago. Not in all ways, not in many ways, the technologies and the consequences of those are much better, but you may have had a better life. And it's human nature of how people are going to deal with each other. So I think the real question is, can people rise above this? And which it goes back to the spirituality question. Can people then rise above it so that they think of the collective good and they think of, collectively, how do we make the best? And also karma, in other words, the realization that if I help you in ways that can be so simple for me to help you and make such a big difference in your life, and you do the same, and we have win-win relationships, it'll be good. But if we don't do that, and I worry about human nature, and I worry about this process.
Especially when you've got geopolitical tensions.
It's because of human nature.
I've had a lot of conversations on the podcast about AI, and I just can't seem to get to my own solid conclusion about this, because when I look at human nature, as you say, I see greed, I see power, hunger, status.
Yeah, some problems, you just accept the fact that you may not be able to be confident about a prediction in the future, so it'll always be a question, and just get on with the fact of using it for yourself in the best way that works for you.
That's what I'm doing. We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest leaves a question for the next, not knowing who they're leaving it for. You know this person, because I've seen you with them. The question they left for you is, what is a book or books that you've recommended or gifted more than others, and why? Can't say your own, but I will.
Right. There are 3 books. There's a book on evolution written by Richard Dawkins, River from Eden, I think it's called. Then a book by Will and Ariel Durant, which are maybe the greatest historians in time, and it's called Lessons from History. It's a very short book. I think it's 104 pages. They wrote massive amounts about 5,000 years of history and so on, and they sort of condensed their lessons from history. And then Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey.
Is it the Hero with a Thousand Faces?
Yes, that's it.
Hero.
Hero with a Thousand Faces.
And why Dawkins' book? Why did you say that one?
Oh, he understands evolution. Everything is evolving. Okay, all species. Man is one of 10,000 species. I mean, and they're all structured similarly. There's a structure. They like two eyes, a brain that has a structure to it, that and the same parts of the brain. There's the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the prefrontal cortex. There's this structure that makes you think differently and so on. There's evolution. There's all evolution. So it's not just limited to human evolution or what humans are like. It's the force of evolution. Mankind's only about 200,000 years old. That's in history. That's short. Okay, and the species and all species evolve. Okay, and it's very interesting. So that's what his books are about, and I think they're very good.
And Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, the Hero with a Thousand Faces.
It's about human nature and the evolution of life and the life journey that we're talking about.
What I find so interesting, Ray, is how you draw on principles from other domains, whether it's from nature or biology, as you were talking about there, to tie into your work in business and investing and everything else and life and happiness. And it really says something to me about being more eclectic and be broadly curious in order to be successful in my more narrow domain.
I just see. I don't. Is that to me maybe too much of a specialist kind of mentality? But the world is being interrelated to these things. If you want to understand how reality works, you can't say I'm going to be just a specialist. I mean, these are all affected by each other.
Thank you so much for writing these books. They are iconic. And the YouTube videos that explain these books are iconic. I don't know who you have on your team that makes the animations and pulls it all together, but not only is the content so important because they are principles, so they're enduring through time, but they're so unbelievably accessible to all people of all ages. And if people haven't read this book, I'd be shocked. But all of these books are fantastic. This book, Principles by Ray Dalio, which I'm going to link all of them below for anyone that wants to read them. I suggest you read them all. Will be formative in your life, even if you're not interested in business or investing, because as it says on the book, they're principles, and the economy affects us all in ways that we might not understand. We're all trying to be successful or happy in our own right, and that's interwoven into all of these books.